So let's talk about actions. The first example is worthy of explanation since its terminology has been bastardized and vilified in order to redefine it. So a lot of people don't even know what it is. I'm talking about DEI. The administration dismantled DEI and racial equity programs across the federal government. But please, let's be clear first what DEI actually is. Most know that DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusion. But many people have come to view the term very negatively due to the propagandist happenings of the administration, often without understanding what it actually is. DEI is not about lowering standards or hiring unqualified people. It's just not. It's about removing barriers, expanding opportunity, and ensuring qualified people who are perfectly good, if not the best, are not overlooked. DEI was never intended to benefit Black people only. Many groups, including white women, veterans, people with disabilities, and many others have benefited from DEI in the workplace. DEI is about creating the process to address discrimination, if there is some, and ensuring that everyone has a fair chance to compete and work in an environment that is nice and offers equal opportunities. I don't get why everyone wouldn't want this in real life, but what DEI boils down to is that you make your work environment a nice place for everybody, not just the white men. Or, I don't understand. There's nothing controversial about DEI.
No, there is, because it's been weaponized. It's been weaponized. It's been told to white people that somehow if we give Black and brown people any type of, equity and justice, that somehow you're going to lose. Okay? So everyone believes, white people, a lot of white people believe it's a pie. They believe in the zero-sum game. And you know what's so ironic though, Kim? Is there has been studies, and I'm sure you can put it up here in terms of the statistics, or maybe we put it in, underneath our video so people can look at this. The over the years, since we have had diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really have taken a look at discrimination, the research has shown over and over and over again that the greatest beneficiary of DEI is white women.
Mm-hmm. Think about this for a second. Women, let's say white women who have a child or decide to start a family while they're working, they have the luxury, I guess it shouldn't be a luxury. DEI would say, yes, you can pump or nurse or do whatever you need to do. That's DEI. Okay, that's it. It's just being a freaking decent human being. Okay, men don't need that probably because they don't have, well, yeah, okay. But see, that's DEI. It's just not being an asshole, basically.
Well, can I just extrapolate this just a little bit? Because I think as white women talk, right? This is our white women, we're unfiltered, we're talking. My honest belief, if we understand honestly, what the patriarchy and white men who are definitely in charge of this country are trying to do, is to remove us from power. Who is the closest in the racial hierarchy to white men? It's white women.
Right.
And they want us gone. That is why they are taking away our abortion rights. That is why they're taking away voting rights. That is why they are expanding their efforts to get rid of DEI. Because DEI is the most beneficiaries white women. So if we get white women out of the workplace and get them out of being CEOs and we get them home, we remove the threat of white women. That is what they want. They don't want us competing with them. Right. And that is why they want us at home. That's why they got rid of abortion rights. So now we have those babies, have those white babies, because they want the white babies, but they want women staying home. So if we look at this from a lens of white women, yes, anti-Blackness all day long. How it's impacting Black and brown people, Indigenous people, Black people, yes, all day long. And we need to have a lens to understand that all of these policies that we can talk about that are impacting Black and brown people are actually impacting us, because this is why they're actually doing it. They don't give a fuck about Black and brown people. They never have.
Right.
It's all about white women and getting rid of us.
Right. Because it's the hierarchy, like you said, and that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, and not to throw fuel on the, and I'm not, we're not anti-men. We're just speaking the facts. Okay, these are just the facts of what's happening around. I hear and I read about how another facet of that is that men just can't get a date nowadays. They just can't. White men, they just can't get a date nowadays, and the reason they cite for it, and I've discussed this at length, is because women now have enough money where we don't need to depend on a man. We actually can
White
want
women,
to
white
depend on
women.
white women. We
Yes.
can want to depend on a
We
man.
just
And,
fired 500,000 Black women
right.
who
And
are the most educated in the country.
in the entire country. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot to this, and I could definitely go on.
There is a lot. And to that point, right, we are not, this is about a patriarchy. This is about a system. This isn't about white men. I love my father and my brother.
It's another example of DEI is, let's say you have somebody you're working with that's Muslim and they need to find a place to pray and clean up and wash their hands and feet, and all you have is the bathroom. Well, find them a nice place where they can do it in a tub where they don't have to use the sink. I mean, the dirty sink, and just be nice. It's common freaking sense.
And
So
how does that impact you? If someone has a place to go and pray and to lay on the ground, lay a rug out and pray, how does that bother you? Why does that bother you? That's what I don't
like,
understand. Why do you care?
common courtesy, I guess. DEI is common freaking courtesy. And the other thing is, like, make sure there's always a non-alcoholic beverage at the party or at the get together. Give me a break. These are common courtesy things. So DEI is all about creating a process to address discrimination, but it's really also about ensuring everyone just has a fair chance to be happy at their job and to stay there and to not want to leave and to not be miserable at work because of the way people treat them. They want to be thought of for promotions, they want to be thought of for opportunities, and they don't want to have stereotypes placed upon them. They just
Like
want,
we do.
yeah, they want to live and let live. So DEI is not a dirty word. It's an incredible thing. In fact, to me, it's common freaking sense. It's called acting like a goddamn human being. But there's a letter, there's a few like letters like DEI, and there's words for it now, and people vilified it. And that's insane. They vilified acting like a decent human being. What's up with that?